Good afternoon, good evening, everywhere you are. My name is Michael, and this is more like the day two of my live session on YouTube. I want to appreciate those who were with live session yesterday, and today again I'm coming on live. It's just going to be like an hour live session, then I'll be taking most of your time. I'm here to continue on the that I started yesterday. Story I started with, which I also like to continue and build upon. And if you are in life, you're welcome. Take a seat and you know you can just take a seat and listen to one or two things. You might be able to pick something, whatever I'm saying, and that could be an experience you will hold eventually a lifetime. Okay. Yesterday, I narrated the story of my experience at Gladys Nursery and Primary School, and I said the last point of the story was where Laker, who happens to be my friend, secured a job for me in another school. In another school. But before I go into that story, I would like to flash back on my experience in the Federal College of Education, Technical Koka student. I only made mention of my travels through the school, not having a help, how I ended up staying instead of even having a place of my own. I was floating. I wasn't even squatting. I was not squatting. I was more like floating. And I have to be a friend's family house where I operate on strict instruction. So remember, I also said it was a dark room and the experience was not palatable. Though I appreciate the fact that Sojime to meet with the mom for that period, but living in that place wasn't palatable, I must confess. But flashing back to 98, when I entered FC Akoka. FC Akoka, its um, full name Federal College of Education Technical Akoka, that is built mainly to build potential teachers from the scratch. And 3 points there, you are expected to have just your 5 O level. And my dad said that is the school I was that he wanted to send me after insisting that I wanted to become a medical doctor. He said that is the school he wants to, and I said this is going to truncate my journey becoming a medical doctor. I'm not a dull person, but for the fact that he doesn't want to spend money to train university, he believes he has a shortcut and a cheaper way out to thinking he has already done what he was supposed to do. But I remember when making a backyard meant for me to go to that college of education, I told him something that this was not what I wanted, but because I had a choice and I don't have anyone to as a refuge or that will be like an helper that can save me out from this this situation I found myself. So for that reason, It's the reason why I have to accept. I can tell you vividly, 2 years into me starting uh, Federal College of Education, I was not serious. My GP was very low, not because I was dull or I don't know what I'm doing there. It is just simply because my mind no dey there. My mind no dey that school. It was just more like I was forced to go to the school, and something we were forced to do. Because these are Yoruba days, I would say, uh, you can force a horse to go to the stream, but you cannot force the horse to drink stream. That was exactly what my situation was then. So I was forced to go to the Federal College of Education, but my dad does not know that he forced me to learn from there. So while I was there, the first year, I entered as pre-degree entry because I didn't enter with JAM. So the I did, which was uni JAM, I didn't meet up with the cutoff mark. So I took Holy Jam, which the result was not ready then, as at the time of my entry into the Federal College of Education. So I entered there without a JAM result, only with my result. So after entering with my SSC results, the only option I had was to enter as a pre-degree pre-degree candidate, because the entry into year one, the entry is filled up already, except they have some students that will refuse the admission. That's when the opening will be there. Then with the influence of that, our tenant lecturer there, I don't know what he did. I just knew that I didn't finish that before my file was converted to a year one student. But I knew I didn't do any jam. How that was done, I don't know. So it was later he told me that the produced again, that year one students I will be taking lectures with. So I and joined them in the year one, and that was how my journey in studying agri science at the Federal College of Education Technical Papa started. So I said, well, I know they there. I no feel lie. I was just going for lectures, you know, just experiencing people, students of my age grade, people of my age grade, you know. I was just trying to and explore new things because I've not been privileged to live amongst crowd of people like that. So, and also I've not been privileged to live in the house. So my experience living in the hostel was an entirely new one, an entirely new experience. So trying to habitate around or with people, it's a whole new experience. So sometimes you see people that will act funny, people that will talk funny, people that will be nice, will not even care you exist, people that will bully, people that will be soft. I met people of different character and disposition. So my first, I had a very smooth year, although my concentration level was very very low because my mind no dey there. after all. I remember was it in my second semester in the first no, I think in second year. Excuse me. My second semester in the second year, I have a taste of what it means to fail. I don't know. It was just my own way of exploring. I was trying to explore. So and as that in my first year, some people they say they have 10 carryovers, 7 carryovers, 5 carryovers, 3 carryovers. And me, I don't get any carryover. So I'm like, what is this carry? What's the experience like? They say, now people don't do their test, where they don't do their assignment. And at the end of the day, when the lecturer tell them to submit, they didn't submit it and they won't fail, they won't pass that course. The only thing is they will keep moving to the next class, but they will still have to come back and do that particular course they refuse to pass. So that's called carryover. I say, hey, never experience am o. Maybe an experience am for once, even if it is with us. Let me see. Hmm. That experience was not palatable. Something wey you never do before as a young child or young guy, you want to have an experience of what is, and that was exactly what I was imagine carving for having carryover. And most when you see people that have this carryover, they always mad. Some will feel they don't even care. Some will say, well, sort it out. Some will not even sort their own out and they will have extra year. There was this particular then it was called political economy, and I don't like that lecturer. I don't like the lecturer. You like lecturer. The lecturer, when it comes to that, he will just talk, explanation. He just say, you go and read the other one up, go and read it up. And where are you reading it up? His textbook. His textbook is very expensive. And any other textbook, he will his own is a textbook that the other ones are handouts there. And what was raining then, typed documents attached together with a staple. That's what self for material. So there was nothing like a textbook, a hard back copy or hard printed back copy. There wasn't anything like that. It was out and sell it for 200, 250, 300 naira. I'm talking of back in 98, 98. Yes, when I joined the Federal College of Education. Okay. So, hmm, I saw the thing just so to buy that man's textbook, you require like 500 naira. And people like, man, it's too expensive. They can't afford. Papa don't for food where they chop self house na food wey go reach me 1 week. He expect me say I chop that food for 1 month. So to even give me pocket money sef, they give me any pocket money. Na only transport wey I go take carry go the school and transport take carry come back. Maybe you go 500 naira or 200 naira on top make I take hold body in case I buy toothpaste or I wan buy. So say you wan buy textbook no concern am. If you come back home say you wan, there was no phone there, phone to contact. If you come back house say you wan collect money for handout, e go tell you say money no dey. So na transport im go give go back. Kai! So and a lecturer is calling a book for 500, I can't even afford 100 naira. So I now like, man, if I no buy this man textbook, wetin sef? So I decided not to buy the man's textbook, political economy. I have some other students like that textbook, so I wasn't the only one after all. So the man now decided, since I've decided not to buy book and those other people the textbook that he was going to place part of the CA on the use of the textbook. So most people that have their way out bought their textbook. Me, I refuse to buy. I won't see wetin go happen. After I'm not the only one. Now all of us in go fail. I no know. This man carry over. We chop carry over. So when we went to check the results and everybody was checking the carry over, I said, eh? So I eventually had this carry over I was carving for. Ah. So when I had the carry over, I went to meet people that had it before. They said, when you get to year three now, you target the time that you're going to do that particular exam and make sure you meet with the students who are supposed to be your junior ones that are now in year two while you are in year three so that they will tell you the assignments they submit, they will tell you what and what is up for the CA. And if possible, you go and so that you can add your name to the list of students for that year. The whole thing was rigorous. So the lecturer was hard. And when I'm having my third year lectures is when the year two are also having their own lectures. So it's always so to the extent that when we wanted the exam, I met up with every requirement. I submitted the assignment and everything. We wanted to have the exam for our own third year was the same time the second year also wanted to have the exam. So the timetable we are going to write political economy clashed with the same timing I'll be having a departmental course in my third year. It was the same time, 9 to 11. Ha! I say, so now like this, they do carry over. Tell me, say, oh my guy, no matter whatever you want to do, be very fast and sure you rush down to the hall. You are going to do your carryover to write the exam for that one. So, which means I'll be reading two books together at the time, which I'll write their exam at the same time duration, 9 to 11. So, as I was reading the department, I was putting political economy, but I was reading. It was an all night reading because it is an it's a paper. So, I went into the hall first for mental course. So I make sure I scribbled one or two. I know the departmental course very well, so I was able to rush and finish up on 1 hour. So and between the hall where I'm writing my departmental course for year three and the place political economy in for year two, the distance is far. Eh? Before I could run down to the hall where they are writing political economy, it's another 15. When I now got there, priest of Pasha wan come hold me. The invigilator say I no go fit enter. I say why? Said the rule of examination is that nobody enters 30 minutes after the paper has started. I said I'm a carryover student. I have a paper I'm running between 9 and 11, 9 to 11, and I'm also having this one too, 9 to 11. Where I will divide myself into two. The only option to do 1 hour in paper and still come back and do 1 hour in politics. But the rule of the school says that they should not allow any student to enter 30 minutes after the exam started. The rule of the school also stated that over students should be allowed to enter if they come with their reasons. The woman started with me. So I quickly went to meet another lecturer. Then let him enter. And he is a carryover student and he's having his paper clashing. That's the person that saved me and I enter into that. Between the time of that arrangement and argument, 15 minutes have gone into 1 hour remain. Hi! Now when I now enter, it was like an amphitheater, like a theater. You know what I mean by a amphitheater? It's like where you have the seats going up. The center spots will be a small place, but the seats is like a this stadium, a stadium out. So and the place is small and very dark. So the whole place that have the luminosity of the light has been occupied by the normal student that own particular course. So the only an open seat is up in the darkest part towards the roof. Hey, I say, oh boy, this one a fry. Say I know they see anything. I can't see paper. And there was no phone. There is no torchlight. So anybody will come late na that place we go sit down. I came back. I make the search. If you don't sit there, get out. Hey, I say, oh now I have experience. Go carry over. Then I just enter the place, manage to look for a place. So that I saw one person using torchlight. So I went to sit. So I was using the reflection of the ray of the torchlight to write my own. I didn't even know what I was doing. I shall write one or two things, write one or two things. Because what I read was on my mind before I entered that hall, but because of what happened, I couldn't myself. They say, say na like this, I will carry this course again. No, I don't go fit carry this. Man, I just see wait one person for front, we don't run. I just giraffe, pew, copy. Say time up. I never even finish, but I know say I don't copy am. I copy am, submit. Na so God take save me from carry over or pass that course when the result some weeks. So Mr. Olani, who happens to be our tenant and the lecturer that liaised with my dad to Federal College of Education, the lecturer my dad liaised with to put me in Federal College of Education, uh, was a kind man. He this Mr. Olani. Yes. I cannot say the story of my life without mentioning his name. His own is just a talk for another time. But I remember, apart his own was that I shouldn't just stay in the house waiting for jam. That I could just have that federal college education by the side while I'm still attempting another exam. So that was his idea. The idea is sold to my dad, and my dad like, yes, this is my this is my this is to end it for this boy. That sees it as yes, I've sent him to the higher institution. And when he called me, when Mr. Lani called me and tell me his intention, which he has given my dad, I never, though it was a good intention, at least to keep me busy so that I won't just sit down, waiting for jump of mark. Uh-huh. So he saw the said that was not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was medical doctor, and the fact that I didn't get any sitting does not mean I cannot still get it at my second sitting. They said before the second sitting, I should just put up at the school while I'm doing my jam. Now, who won't pay for the jam do for second sitting? Not me, my papa. Him to give me the money to go and obtain jam for second sitting. Just because Mr. Lani has sold the idea of the so he refused to give me money for the uni jam city, and that became a hell of excuse me. That became a hell in why I could not do my uni jam for the second. My father refused to give me money to and obtain the jam form for my second sitting for uni jam. I begged him, someone who finished secondary school and is not doing anything hard work. It was moment at home was angular moment, church, house, school, secondary school, and now I was done with secondary school, so there's no movement church and house. So it was a boring lifestyle. I wasn't even allowed to have friends. I wasn't allowed to go out. I wasn't allowed to. It was just me home with my parents. The highest place I can be is my mother's shop, which is in front of my house. There was no civilization. There was no form of, you know, I can't go out. Instead, if you go out, I'll disown you, all those kind of threats. So he was the alpha and omega of every decision that's on my life then. So he said he won't give me money for any unit jam. If he had given me money for unit jam, I would have gotten beyond mark in that second seat. So he decided not to give me money and I was left stranded. Come to that was with no support that time. So at later time my mom started listening and started thinking of supporting, but it was too late. But I will tell you mom started supporting me. I'll tell you the story about that later. So I Mr. Lani now told me that she just accept that doesn't stop my ambition of becoming a doctor, that I should just hold on to that and keep myself away from the house so that my dad won't be caged by my dad in that house until my life become worthless. Because looking at the mind of my dad, which I never knew then, he never wanted to sponsor me to any higher institution. There was a time I came back home, he was shouting on my head and he was saying he never wanted to sponsor me. I said, why? He said, they said. I said, who were they? Friends to me that it's nothing profitable to train a male child in a or higher institution. I said, why would they say that? Because they said male child don't end up of their father at old age. I said, oh, is that what good to you? And you are now using it to reach me, making me to be neglected, telling me you cannot buy me a form for the second sitting, abandoning me in school, not giving me food that will be enough to cover me for a month, not giving me any money that will use to sort out my handout and everything. Is that why you are doing all these things? Making me 18 or 19 years of my age to be suffering like someone in his 40 something years or 30 something years, making life miserable to me, making me to eat from hand to mouth when under your roof, making me to wear torn, ripped off shoes. And you watch me living in languish, I mean, let's say a language, a poverty stricken lifestyle. I asked all this question, he could not give me an answer. And it's not done on me that I'm on my own, but he keep telling me that the moment I'm out of that is out of my matter. I doesn't have any money to train any child in the university, and whatever he has given, I should live with, that I should build, that I should spend for the rest of my life. I said, but actually, he's not giving me anything because sending me to NC does not. Me, you have sent me to the university. And I know there was an NC before I chose to to opt for a university education. So I know what they are doing in NC, and I don't want to become a teacher because the end point of anybody that goes to NC is to become a classroom teacher. I don't want to become a classroom teacher, but still forging my destiny towards it. I'm not interested. He forced me. He told me that if I refused to take the admission, that he was going to remove my everything that concerns me, and if my life scatter, may it scatter wetin concern am. After all, what he said, and I quote, after all, he go school and he became successful. Hey! He didn't go to school and he became successful. That what is the probability that me, that I go to school, I will be successful? Ah! Okay, I now knew where the whole story is driving at. Okay. You never believe in people that go to school because you didn't go to school. Or probably you are envying people that goes to school because you did not go to school. Because you thought, yes, you did handwork, it was a mechanic and to build house on a half plot of land somewhere in Ejigo, you feel you are now successful. Is that your definition of the success me I'm looking at is way deeper and higher than this. Not success of building house on a half plot of land in Ejigbo. So that's not that's my dream is that. And he keep emphasizing he's successful. He's successful. What are you calling success? There's a big house in front of our family house. You built your house on half plot. The house was built on two plots, big and gigantic. Still never said he's successful. Or you built on a half plot and you are saying you are successful. And you are not dreaming that your child achieve more than. So all you could do is to do what he does not want so that he won't be as successful himself. And you will now be bragging that you that did not go to school, you are more successful. You can imagine that mentality. That was the father I have to deal with. So Mr. Olani, your late Mr. Olani now placed everything on top of everything he has said. Father have said to me, I thought of it and I said no more. The only option I had was to accept this NC. At least our bread is better than puff puff. Let me accept. So anything that happened to me in the NC, that was the genesis. At the third year, he abandoned me. He wasn't even ready to pay school. My dad abandoned. Wasn't ready to pay school fees. And the third year was when I needed money most because I had project, I have to do, I have to submit assignments, I have to do a lot of things so that film. I was having problem with lecturers because I couldn't meet up with buying their textbook and handout. That was when it come to me going to loot to sell my lot for money. Yes. Because as at the time I made up my mind, I've not bought about 15 and at the time I didn't give me money for handout. They only give me money to go. There was no food, there was nothing. My mom sometimes, you know, puts like 500 in my hand to hold. But my dad will not give me anything. The only thing he will give me is transport. So it's more like you came home. Did I tell you to come? You come home. you at home. The only thing I will give you is money for you. You have to go back to your school. Go back and do what now? I need money to buy and you used to give to me. You are telling me to go back. Go back and do what? Now play it in for there. Go and do this NC. You won't still give me money for handout. And now let on my neck, I'm about to have carry over in about 15 courses. You're less concerned. Why must I go to my you will just give me transport and go back. Yeah, I will send money to you through the lecturer. Anytime you feel 100, send 200. Anytime you feel send whatever you like. I've seen him sending 200, 100 naira to me. Anytime I complain to that one that any money again, oh, I'm stranded. Oh. Now I'm telling and he will give me 200 or 100 naira. I say I needed handouts, money for if I get five handouts, he may end up giving me money for one. Two. That's how it has been from my first year to second year. I ended up not buying most of the handout, but because Mr. Ani knows some of those lecturers, he will quietly go and tell me, leave this boy abeg, leave abeg, no allow, no give and carry. That's the most he can do for me. So Mr. Lani really helped me. He helped. Towards the end of my second year, Mr. Lani, while he was coming to work, he came to work that very day. I saw him and on going home. A tragic incident happened to him. There were a gang of thieves that robbed from somewhere and they were coming in their convoy, his old Peugeot car, pushing them like he's facing them. But normally, now he's just driving on the highway and shooting into the air. Expected that people will run and take it. He was in his ride going. Normally, when people heard gunshot, he was not running. He was just there, still in his car, and I think the wife was in the vehicle then. The wife ran down out of the and jumped into the drainage system and the gutter. Was still in the driver's side and he was just there. So those robbers, noticing that the man did not jump out of his vehicle, thought he was a or they thought maybe he was just trying to be something like that. So they shot him. He sustained a heavy blow and a deep injury. I think they shot him on the chest region and he instantly died. It was a tragic moment I can never forget in my life. We lost the Solani. Then for inside school, then they reason me like Omolani, Omolani, because to his office, more like a godfather in that school. So nobody can threaten me in that school. If I tell you, I'll report you.